if you had to have a ride or die, one ride or die from the show, which of these would it be? Abby, Isaac, Ellie, or Dina?
The easy answer is Dina because she's a ray of sunshine.
A ray of sunshine.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to our The Last of Us recap and reaction podcast. We finished up the last episode of The Last of Us last week, but we're coming here one more time for a kind of recap of all of season 2. As always, I am Phil, along here with Joe.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. And just warning, spoilers.
Spoilers.
Spoilers for everything from season 1, everything from season 2, and everything from the first game and everything from the second game up until this point in the story.
Can we say up until the Ellie Abby split? Is it okay to say that now, or is it different? I was curious because we didn't in our finale recap. We didn't talk too much about game versus episode, but I was wondering, like, is it more mixed, or is it very much like you don't play as Abby, like you play as her during the fence sequence in the beginning, but then you don't play as her again until this point, or
Yeah, pretty much. So going into the season, I knew they were splitting the second game into at least 2 seasons, and in my mind, I was like, where are they going to stop? Like, what is a good stopping point for this season? And I'd kind of forgotten the split.
Yeah. Okay. I was gonna say this is kind of a big deal moment, right?
Yeah. Um, Totally forgot though. Like, could not remember.
In the game, does it feel like Ellie might be dead at that moment? At that moment,
So I mean, I will say I never thought she was dead.
Yeah, but okay, all right. But at the same time, I didn't think Joel was gonna die, and when he was about to die, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I mean, in the game, you don't play as Joel. Actually,
at all, like never.
no, you never play as Joel in part 2.
Man,
So
that's
I want to say well, other than the opening of the second game, I don't think you see I don't think you see Joel until Joel meets Abby for the first time.
oh okay, yeah. That you know what? It's great then because it has like a more of an impact when he shows up.
Yeah.
Because he's someone that's being talked about for, you know, the first hour of the game, and then all of a sudden he's there to help save one of the characters. Yeah.
So Joe, what did you think of the season as a whole?
It was good. It was very intense. Um, it's interesting. I feel like I liked season one better because we just did a rewatch of season one before this, and it was our second time watching it. So like I felt like I guess more comfortable with it. I wonder if I'll have the same experience when I rewatch season two, where I know everything that's going to happen and I'm just able to enjoy it for what it is. But that said, like every week I was like, great episode, loved it, loved being in this world. It was really cool, but I'm still processing like how it ends. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
So what what's your feelings on Abby as a character? Having only seen very little of her
yeah.
at the beginning of the season and then very briefly at the end of the season.
It's amazing how much of a presence she has almost right away. Like, yeah, we've really only had like 4 or 5 scenes with her, maybe
Yeah.
something like that, and it's all super tense. Like she's intense, and I can't be mad at her reasoning. Uh, that having that passion for 5 years though is a little crazy, but like you would think that like somebody else would that she cared about died in between that she could be distracted. Like I'll put my vengeance this way for a little while, but no, she's really focused on getting Joel. Um, but uh, I think she's really like I'm ready to follow her. It'll be interesting, and I'm sure halfway through the season 3, I'll be like Team Abby. I guess. Yeah.
So, so I think a lot of the problems that people had with the second game are that one, Joel dies at the very beginning, and you're so attached to Joel from the first game that
Yeah.
it's hard to lose him as a character. Um, and I think the other thing that people, well, I mean, there's a lot of things that people have issues with. Some of them are from the back half of this game, but the fact that you play as Joel's murderer
Yeah.
in the second half.
That's the real thing that like I can't even imagine like how much it messed with your head like in real time as you're having to do it. Like I can't even imagine. I mean, having to or not being able to play as Joel is one thing because like you're playing as the person that was with him the whole time and the person that motivated him. Even after he dies in the game, I can imagine it's still not too weird because your your mission is still based on Joel. It's still Joel is still the focus in one way or
Yeah.
another. But yeah, what you could I mean, I guess Joel's still kind of the focus, but I don't know. But it this show got me wondering like is it going to get to a point where they forget why they're killing each other? Like no, I mean it's impossible that they would actually forget, but like does it go down so many steps? Like does Abby kill Ellie and then someone kills Abby, and then someone kill yeah, someone kills someone, someone's and then all of a sudden you're just like, how did this start? Like why are we mad at
Yeah.
each other?
Well, it's interesting, and this is not spoilers for the back half of the game, but Isaac mentions in the show when he's talking to the Seraphite in episode, I want to say 4. I could be wrong with that though. When he's torturing the Seraphite, and he's talking about like their conflict and like I kill one of yours, you kill one of mine, and things like that. And
Yeah,
it's basically the idea that you're bringing up now, um, of that kind of cycle of violence that perpetuates. And then like you're like, why are we fighting? I don't know. We're just fighting.
like no one remembers how it started. We were just the
Yeah,
Hatfield and McCoys. Yeah, we're just killing each other.
yeah,
So,
it is. Um, so what did you think of Ellie's arc in this season?
well, I guess I haven't really thought about it too much since the finale, but especially because part of me was waiting for it to be complete. Like I knew that she wasn't going to get a full resolution at the end of season 2, but now I'm in a place where I'm like, oh, she might not get a resolution at all, and this might be her end. And if this was the end of her story, how is that a complete story? Is it a complete arc? And it's really not because, or maybe it is. I don't know. She just keeps getting worse though. She's to see her in that moment where she splits with Jesse and like chooses vengeance over everything
Yeah,
really was like not a good feeling. But she was also headed that way the whole time too. Like she was finding it easy to hurt people and she was killing people. And I did watch a little bit of gameplay just like of not story specific, but like just Ellie running around the town. She murders crazy people. Like I know you told me, but like everyone dies.
yeah. That's the thing. Because there is no gameplay. Like, is is Mel the first person that Ellie has killed in Seattle? Or not even
Wait, yeah,
because
no, yeah,
because she says Ellie says that she leaves her alive in the hospital, even though she's going
that's
to
true.
turn.
That's true. Yeah,
So the first people that she kills in Seattle are Owen and Nora.
I think Nora's the one in the hospital, but
Oh,
Mel
sorry, I
was the
got
one. Mel was the pregnant lady. Yeah.
getting them mixed up.
Um, you're right, except she and Dina each kill one person in the TV studio
Okay, there you go.
right before they jump
Still,
out the window.
that's like
That's
3
that's 3. Yeah. What
total.
babies? Babies don't count now. Unborn children don't
Okay,
count.
so far. So we're talking Ellie's personal kills. Um, yeah, it's like at least 10 times that in the game. At least.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Part of me wants to play the game and just count it out. Let's see how many it is. Get a full tally. So if we're talking about game versus show, I have a few questions for you based on that. Are you ready? What did it get the most right in this portion of the game?
What animal am I?
Like, was it the porch scene, or was it the guitar stuff? It could be that. It could be anything.
It's really hard to say. There I mean, I feel like a lot of the stuff in the show is probably straight from the game.
Mhm.
Um, but it's hard
I
to
think it's
say like
all plateauing.
what's the thing they got the most right.
Okay.
Uh, just
Well, my
because
second question would be, what did they get the most wrong? So if you want to roll into that, like, is there anything that bothered you?
I don't know that there's anything that bothered me per se. I think there's not as big of a time gap between when Joel gets killed and when Ellie goes off to find Abby in the game. But in the show, there's like a 3 month gap because Ellie's healing and whatnot. Um, so I feel like it changes a lot of like kind of the context a lot of some things. Um, so in the game, Ellie and Dina actually get together before Joel gets killed, whereas in the show they get together after. Like
Oh,
in that,
right.
um, and that scene in the tent when they're on their way to Seattle plays a lot differently because of the circumstances around. I guess
Screen
that
source.
is probably the most. I don't even know that I'm bothered by it per se. It just changes the context of the thing.
Yeah, I could see that for sure. Sounds like it's cleaner. It's like the steps are cleaner in terms of
I feel
where
like
they're at in their relationship.
it's a little bit more. I don't know. I don't know if it's cleaner in the game. It's just less odd, I guess, because of the circumstances. Like Joel hasn't been murdered yet, so it's okay for Ellie and Dina to like find each other in that moment because
Yeah,
um it's they don't have the death of Joel hanging over them, whereas in the show they do.
yeah, of course. That time break is interesting. The time like where they left like immediately after Joel's death to go after the people in Seattle. Whereas in the show, they have the whole council and everything. Like you were saying, it's like 3 months before they even leave. Is that right?
Yeah, I think it's about that. Yeah,
Yeah, because like in the game, then they would have been kind of on their heels. Because I kept thinking about that. Like if it took them 3 months to get up to Seattle from Wyoming, then it would have also taken the Abby's team the same amount of time to get there, unless they had jeeps stashed over the hill or something, which they
super
could have.
horse.
I don't know. Yeah, super horses. They got the Shimmer Plus. But but yeah, if Ellie and Dina left the night after, or this, or like right after, then like this, all the scenes we're seeing in Seattle of Nora and Mel and Owen and even Abby being like, "It's you." It would have been like, I saw you last weekend," or whatever it is. But like as opposed to like now, it's been like you know three
Yeah, a
months,
month.
4 months, whatever. Yeah, yeah. The show, does it capture the level of violence that the game does? I know we talked about kills, but like, do you find the show is like matching that, or like, is it bloody enough? Is it gory enough? Like,
So
how's that balancing out?
I think it's a little bit weird because there's a lot more violence in the game, obviously because it's more of the gameplay, more like you actually like hunting down like infected or like other people. There's not so much of that in the show, but I feel like because you do it so much in the game, you get a little bit desensitized towards it.
Yeah,
It's just like another obstacle to your goal in the game. Whereas like in the show, it is very much, oh, this is another life.
Yeah. So you're saying like in the game, there's just people constantly in the back. There's constantly little kids in the background going. It's not a big deal. NBD back there, just kids
I
ordering
mean,
people to
I don't
murder
know
each
that
other.
it's not a big deal per se. It's just that um, there's more violence in the game just because of the gameplay, but I think it's more affecting in the show because it you're watching something happen as opposed to like making it happen, if that makes any kind of sense.
That totally makes sense.
I don't think there's anything I was expecting to see that I didn't see. Although I guess there are stuff that I expected to see that I forgot was not in this section of the game.
Okay.
Um, the I'm gonna hold off on this one for now.
That's a
Like
good. That's
I'm not gonna
trust those
say
instincts.
yeah.
Yeah. I even as I wrote it, I was like, this isn't going to go anywhere. As are none of these next questions. I'm going to ask you some broad questions about the future that
Yes.
you won't be able to answer.
Okay.
So you can give me percentages, you can give me over unders. You can answer these however you want, but like, let's hear. What are the chances that we're going to see Joel in season 3?
I don't know. Honestly, um so Joel's so little in the second game anyway.
Right.
Um and his appearances are kind of like scattered throughout the game, but it feels like they kind of condensed all that stuff back into the second season.
Okay. So you're
Um,
saying we've seen most of the juicy flashbacks that were in the game.
I believe so. At least the ones that I remember. Um, there's a chance that there's ones that I don't remember. I mean,
Yeah.
I would say there's a better than even chance that there are flashbacks in the game that I don't remember.
Those odds are 100%.
It's in
I
the
feel
high
like
90s.
I feel like we're gonna see Joel. I feel like we're gonna see Jesse, but I mean Joel especially because like especially if season 3 is the finale like season, like they don't do a season 4. You have to have Joel show up in like the final episode or near the end, unless Ellie's dead. Then they don't even need to mention him again. Okay, this might be an easier one. Will we ever see Shimmer again? What are the chances that's gonna happen? Oh no. Oh no, Shimmer? Not Shimmer.
I'm dead.
I would say 50-50 on Shimmer.
All right. I hope we at least learn Shimmer's fate. um, this might be easier. Will we ever see Jackson again? Because theoretically, we could be done with Jackson. We could be done with Maria. We could be done with the whole thing. Like Tommy might is probably won't make it back either.
Yeah,
You know.
that was the shield medallion.
Um,
I know you can't
hmm.
answer these. I feel terrible even asking you because there's no way you can answer.
I don't know. Like, will we see Jackson in the second season? Or third season, I guess. I'm gonna say like 20% chance.
20%. Okay. It's tricky because while I was thinking about questions and thinking about the season, I Jackson is home now. Like it's probably the longest Ellie's ever lived in one place. If Ellie and Dina both survive, it's the place they would go back to. They wouldn't start fresh somewhere else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Jackson's home. So it would make sense that if we do see it, if everyone survives, that the show will end there. But I mean, who knows? All right, this one could be easier to answer. How long of a wait will it be until season 3?
Oh, at least 2.5 years, I'm thinking.
At least. We're going to see 3 Avengers movies before we see one more season of Last of Us.
What is Palpatine's team? Not Kylo's team.
All right, I have a fun question for you. if you had to have a ride or die, one ride or die from the show, which of these would it be? Abby, Isaac, Ellie, or Dina?
I think the easy answer is Dina because she's a ray of sunshine.
A ray of sunshine. I mean, you are 1,000% correct. Like, for me, it's like I was like, oh, I'm gonna die anyway. At least I'll be around Dina.
And she would do all the planning. It
Yeah.
would be
Oh my
great.
god. Yeah. Like people are so upset that in the game Ellie's super smart, but in the show that she's being portrayed as kind of dumb, especially next to Dina. I am definitely dumb. So I need someone playing this stuff out for me.
So I'm going to ask you now, what do you what do you hope happens in season 3? Like, what do you
Okay.
think? What do you hope that we'll see in season 3? I mean, besides a resolution.
Oh, yeah, forget. I've already emotionally let go of the resolution. We're not getting it. Here are the things I want from season 3 now. I mean, I think it's pretty laid out that it's gonna be Abby's story of those 3 days, and in those 3 days we're gonna see the uh, large bombing that the girls saw from the rooftop on their first day. We're gonna see that fight with the Seraphites. We're gonna see why Abby's team is trying to get away. We're gonna see Tommy in his sniper shootout. We're gonna see that from a different perspective. And we might not see Ellie, but we might see Jesse. We might see Tommy. Like
Yeah.
we're gonna get some of that action, and that's cool. Um, I hope we get to see what's on level B3. Because when you said we weren't going to see it in the finale, you're like, I don't think we're going to see that in the finale. I was like, come on, we got to see it. It's the only thing I care about right now. But yeah, I was thinking like, oh, maybe Abby, goes down there when she finds out that uh, her friend's dead, or when she finds out Nora's dead. But no, she can't go there. She can't breathe in all that stuff and find out what's really down there. The only person that can go down there is Ellie, and she dead.
I mean,
Maybe.
maybe she went down into B3, and we'll get a flashback next season.
Bro, you just blew my mind. What? Yeah, I'm trying to imagining her as she's walking back to the theater, just like stone faced and like, what did I just see? Yes, I'd love that. But I joked about it on last episode, but I would really be down if season 3 is Abby's perspective and season 4 is Abby with Ellie's head searching for a scientist that can cure them all. Um, but I think the show is laying out what it's going to be. They're like, season 3 is going to be Abby's perspective, and they could go the whole season doing that and not get to this point with the shootout in the theater until the last episode or the second to last episode. Or they could do all Abby stuff in 3 episodes, 4 episodes, and then the back half is even something crazier and I don't know about. Part of me wants that to be true because I want to be surprised, but I don't think I will be. But we'll get Abby's side of things, and oh, that also means more Isaac, which is great because not enough in this season, that's for sure.
So you've probably, I don't know if you've heard about the kind of the interviews about season 3 and potential season 4 of The
I
Last
have
of
not
Us, because you have not. You said,
have it, but I don't mind being spoiled as long as it's general.
well, it's very general in that the creators have said that they don't know if they can fit the rest of the game in one season, in the
So we're
in
gonna
the
get two
in season
seasons of
3.
Abby. We're gonna get 2 Abby seasons.
Well, here's the thing, though. Knowing what I know about the game, I'm like, going into season 1 of The Last of Us, I'm like, how are they going to fit all this game into one season, one 10-episode season? And they did, and I was like, oh, that's right. They don't have to put in the gameplay.
Right. There's no running, jumping through windows or
I was like,
hiding
how
for
are
in
they
the
going to fit
grass.
this 15-hour game into like a 10-hour season? But they
Yeah.
just cut out all the gameplay, and then that's, it fit great. Um, Whereas I feel like now they're doing an opposite thing where it's like we got all this story that we need to tell. We told
Yeah.
half of it in one season. We can't fit the second half in another season. Like, how can we possibly do that?
Is being so specific gonna hurt the show? Like, is it gonna
Specific in
become
what
like,
way?
well, if they have like, if the first season was broad in terms of like they're just telling a story and they're inserting new things and just playing in that world, as opposed to now where like Dina and Ellie go here, they see this, then they move here, and then they do this. It's all the pieces of the game. That kind of specificity, is that going to hurt the show, or do people want it to be so close?
I mean, I don't know. I do enjoy when the show deviates from the game. Like when we see the flashbacks to things that were not in the game, it gives the world a lot more context. Like you learn more about it. And I guess that's really one thing that I want to see from a third season is the conflict between the WLF and the Seraphites, because you don't really get I mean, you get a lot of it in the game, but only from Abby's perspective because you're playing as Abby. Um, so you only see it from her perspective, and I would love to see, like, are they going to go back and like tell that story of how that conflict started?
Oh, like go even further back. Yeah, that'd be sweet.
Yeah,
Yeah, I love that. I love that idea.
yeah.
All right.
One of the other things that I thought was interesting, because we kind of mentioned it in the last recap, where the prophet, the graffiti of the prophet, is a different woman, and it got me thinking about. Have you ever seen American Gods?
I saw the first season.
I think this is in the first season, where I think it's at the end of the first season where they're talking about Jesus, and then Ian Shane, I think that's the actor's name, right?
Ian McShane is Odin, right?
Odin,
Yeah.
yeah. Uh, they're like Jesus, and he's like, which Jesus? You got Black Jesus, you got Latino Jesus, you got. So it's probably same as like similar to the prophet. Now I don't know the timeline exactly in the show, because I guess it could be a lot longer because it is like a I guess 10-year difference between the show and the game, in terms of the time periods. So has it been long enough where there was a prophet at some point and like they don't really remember what she looks like?
Sure. Or even if, like, did the Prophet start in Seattle, or like did it start someplace else and then the Seattle version is just different, or
Yeah.
different, even different parts of the city like latched onto their own vision or version.
Covered by the down.
Yeah, I would love to see the like kind of the origins of the Seraphites, because we don't get a whole lot of that in the game.
It's just going to be a lot of whistling.
Why did they whistle? Why? Why
What
did
if
Jack
they're
get the tattoos? Why?
what what if they're cat callers? What if they're all construction workers? With Joker scars? Yeah.
Have you seen that prophet? Whoo!
Woohoo! Hey, mama, feel my love. All right. This is my last fun question. And this is a good question for me and for everybody else listening that hasn't. But should I spoil the rest of the game by playing it before season 3? Or, and another way to look at that question is, if you could yourself go back and not have played the game, would you want to experience the show in a different way?
It's so hard to kind of divorce myself from like what I know now versus like going through it for the first time. Um, uh,
Certainly,
it,
there's value in seeing how it's being adapted versus watching it knowing nothing, right?
yeah, but I think it's kind of the difference between like reading a book first and then watching the movie, or watching the movie first and then reading the book.
Yeah,
They're two similar stories that are told in different ways. So I guess depending on like what you start off with first, it's a different experience for the reader or the viewer or the person who's playing the game.
sure, yeah. A
Um,
part of me wants to play it, but because but part of me wants to play it for one reason, because I feel like even if it's just a year before the third season, I feel like something's going to get spoiled, like like a character or a character death or something. Like
yeah.
it's out there too much, right? Especially right now in this moment. But so part of me is like, just play the game, figure out what's going on, so you don't have to worry about it.
Well, here's the thing though. Uh, Joel's death did not get spoiled.
Amazing. God bless those game players for not letting that one slip, because it's nuts. And it's great because it makes me believe that Ellie is dead. You know,
Yeah.
even though she's not,
Um,
or is she?
what
What?
what?
Say for
Huh?
me? What? But those are all the questions I have on a pretty
Yeah.
good, pretty terrific season of TV.
Yeah. Um, I would say play through the first game and see if you
Oh
have an
man, I'm not
appetite for
going
the
back.
second game.
I'm not going backwards. Honestly, the gameplay for the second game is so gorgeous that, like, I mean, if you start with the second game, you definitely can't go back to the first, because then you'd be like, this doesn't even look like blades of grass.
So, um,
Did they
they
remaster
solved
it
that
too?
problem for you because they
Yeah.
they they remastered it. I don't know if remake or remaster what the terminology is, but I believe they updated the first game to have the second game's like gameplay mechanics or
Good for
more.
them. That's what a hit TV show will do. It'll make you be like, oh, let's make these games look as good as they can. Good for them.
I've only ever played the PlayStation up to PlayStation 4 version because I was thinking about this earlier, and the whole thing with Riley that was DLC downloadable content for the first game. I was like, I don't remember buying that, and then no, it's because I bought the PS3 version initially, and then bought the PS4 version because it came with the downloadable content.
So you played the PS3 version, and the PS4 version of it.
Yeah, but not the PS5 version. You're not getting me to buy it
Not
again.
yet. They're gonna get you, Phil. It's just a matter of time.
Well, there's a PS5 version of the second game which I have not bought yet.
All
If
right.
they ever come out with
Yeah.
a third game and they package in the first two games on the PS7, then maybe I'll buy it again. Maybe.
You'll definitely. Any closing thoughts?
Um, I mean, I definitely enjoyed this season. It'll be interesting to see what the eventual third season will be. Um, I mean, I will be an even older man when it comes out. I'm interested in seeing what season 3 will be, how far to go. I honestly, again, I don't know that they're gonna split the second half of this game into two other seasons.
Crazy.
Heal up a little bit. Oh, we're fully speaking.
I mean, but maybe they will. Maybe they'll prove me wrong. Maybe there's so much more content that I'm not thinking of that they'll put into season 3.
What if there's a whole Eugene season where we get nothing but Eugene flashbacks?
I mean, I would love Joey Pants in in The
Amazing.
Last of Us.
It'd be amazing. Bring it on.
How about you, Joe? Any closing thoughts?
Um, really great season. Really excited that we did this. This was so much fun, like revisiting the first season and overanalyzing the second season. I'm excited to do it again. Even though it really will be like almost 2 years from now, probably,
Yeah.
which is just the pits.
And if you're listening to this right now and are sad that you will no longer hear us week to week, you can check out our other podcasts where we're going over the Joe Loves Crappy movies for
Yeah.
20th anniversaries.
Right, because everyone that loves Last of Us loves terrible films from the year 2005.
I mean, Fever Pitch
Fever
crosses
Pitch.
all boundaries.
Fever Pitch is for everyone.
All right. So yeah, this will be it for a little bit at least.
Well, we're still gonna be doing videos, but
Yeah,
just not so many Pedro Pascal videos until Fantastic Four comes out.
until Fantastic Four comes out, and in which case maybe we'll do a bunch of Pedro Pascal content leading up to Fantastic Four.
Please say more.
But be sure to check out our other content on YouTube, where you'll see a bunch of videos where we just I don't even know how to describe it. Nonsense is probably the best
Nonsense is
description.
pretty good, yeah.
Yeah. But feel free to drop us a comment. Tell us what you thought of season 2 of The Last of Us and what you hope to see in season 3. And be sure to like and subscribe. And we will catch you perhaps in another video. Maybe
Yes,
more
please
Pedro
come back.
Pascal.
Yeah, check out the channel, subscribe, hit the like
Yes.
button. There's a bell I hear. No one hits the bell.
That one's optional.
Yeah, everything else is mandatory, but the bell, forget the bell.
But we will see you later.